Hi everyone, I'm Steve here this time with Brian. And Brian is a personal trainer at Fitness for 10 in Carson City. Go say hi to him. He's one of our more popular, nice trainers. You know, everybody loves him. So go say hi to him in Carson City, Fitness for 10. He's there. I'm sure he'll take some time to talk to you and give you a tip or two. So we're going to torture Brian now. And here's the torture. We're going to ask him if he can only take 5 supplements, which is hard to do for trainers and people in the business like me. You can only take 5, Brian. And then we're going to give you 3 alternative or bonus picks after that. So let's go with your 5 that you can only take. What is your first one that you're going to take?
Well, you know, there's a ton of different supplements out there, Steve, like you're saying. Hey, supplements are important to everybody. We need to kind of refuel our body every day. For me, the #1 ultimate supplement that I would take for myself, and that if anybody asks me, is plain and simple basic multivitamin for men. I'm over 50, and I want to make sure I get those nutrients in me. They deplete every day, and I want to always make sure that no matter what, I don't miss that daily multivitamin for men.
So what do the women take?
They can take them for women as well. Same
Yeah.
thing. Now, there's all kinds of different multivitamins out there. And what's interesting is if you have a heart issue, you can get heart healthy multivitamins. If you want to really get into the design of it, you can get more of the high-tech multivitamin. I actually just use an over-the-counter. I go to Walmart and I purchase it there. It's a great price, and the product works well for me. It doesn't leave a lot of scent and odor around the place, if you know what I mean. It's just a solid product, I should say.
Great. So as the theme with all these interviews with these trainers is everyone's different, and there's nobody that has the same 5. There's been some consistency, but nobody has had the same 5. So, okay, Brian, what's number 2?
All right, my #2 supplement that I like to use, and I do recommend for people that are weightlifters. I'm an old 1980s weightlifter. You remember what it was like back in the day. I've been lifting weights my entire life. Because of that, I do eat a little bit higher protein, and I want that protein in my body to help redevelop that muscle as I work out. So for the health of my muscle and my muscle fibers, I take protein. The proteins I choose, I just buy mine at Costco. I don't go way over the top. I get my protein drink and my protein bar. They're generally about 30 grams a serving. They're on about 160 to 180 calories per serving, and I have one in the morning, one later on the day to help supplement my eating. So I know that especially on my lifting days, I have the perfect load of protein to help those muscles recover from my workouts and to repair the fibers.
Okay, we're definitely seeing a consistency with the protein powder, especially from the trainers. And protein is critical. And so can I ask, what kind of protein do you take? Do you take a whey isolate? Do you take a beef egg isolate protein? Do you take a vegan protein? What kind of protein?
2 different big proteins that I love out there. I do take a whey isolate. The one that I use, it goes good for me. Now, some people will have a problem with that. They might get some bloating with it. You know, it might make them a little bit gassy. For me, that works really well. For instance, for one of my sons, they're both athletes. I've got them involved in a product called Quattro, which is a time release protein, and it works perfect because they don't have a lot of time in the day with school. One works for a fire department, one's in school, and it releases throughout the day. So after they work it, they can actually use it as support right after the workout, and it enters in the body for hours on end. And that's a product named by Quattro.
This is always great information. And so you're a pretty big guy. So what are you trying to get? How many grams of protein do you try to get in a day?
I'm trying to stay around 200, and that's a lot. I haven't weighed 200 since 5th grade, but I'm well beyond that in weight. I don't want to go too wild in my protein, which is going to bring me up to my next supplement, because when you take more protein, you stand the chance, if you're not taking in a lot of fiber, that you're going to stop up your body. You're not going to cleanse your body, which is why my #3 supplement is absolutely critical. It's a product called Fiberlize, and it has a high volume of the soluble fiber that works. It's called psyllium, and to me, it works better than even an oat brand. to processing the body, getting things out of the body, and keeps me regular and clean.
Okay, so we got fiber for number 3, and I was talking about this with Adam yesterday, 200 grams of protein. So what are you trying to go from 180 up to 200? You haven't weighed 200 in a long time, so you're trying to get back up there?
No, I'm 260 pounds. So I kid around when I say, when I was born, I was 150 pounds. So what I'm saying is that I don't eat up to my weight. I do really believe, any of these standard things, each weight and protein, things like that, it's really up to the individual, how their body addresses it, what they can take in. And as we get older, we kind of got to check ourselves and make sure we're not taking in too much. The other side to that is I want to balance it, because I also do believe that anything the body can't absorb and use is wasted and comes out through bodily waste.
Yeah, so that's another, and like I said, Adam and I were talking about this yesterday. You have to pay attention just to get 100 grams of protein, because if you just eat, I mean, you'll get plenty of carbs if you're just eating, but you probably won't get 100 grams of protein if you're not paying attention to it. So it's probably the most critical macronutrient, and to get 200, you got to make a conscious effort. I'm at about 170 every day, and I have to make a conscious effort to get that every day.
It takes work. When I get here in the morning, the bar is going in my body, which is the same brand and product that I use. I use Premier brand. Then later on in the morning, my next dose is coming in, and it's generally right after I work out. It's another 30 grams in there. By the time I go home and I eat my lunch after I get done, because I'm only a morning guy for you guys here at Fitness for 10. So I'm usually done by noon, and I'm on my way out of here after I work out. When I get home, I'm loading it up again, and I'm going into a higher protein meal, although I do eat a lot of carbohydrate when it comes to vegetables and fruits along with it. I don't eat little tiny meals. My stuff's massive, and I do that throughout the day. So in order for me to get that gain on those proteins and to use them and to make sure I'm getting enough, I'm eating throughout my entire day. It's I work hard to stay this heavy, if that makes sense. And it takes an all-day effort. And I'm nothing near the caloric value of our power lifters that are here, that are shooting over 5,000 calories per day, and they're trying to get even more in than I am. So it does take work, but it's a practice. If you make the behavior, you make the change, and you make it your life, it's no problem. And as long as you're loading with fiber, my number 3, as long as you're loading with that fiber, you'll keep your body clean and it won't hurt those kidneys and everything else so much, because everything's moving through you.
Yeah, I remember when I was at 6,000 calories just to maintain my weight, and I used to think, oh, wow, a diet would be wonderful. But anyway, it is work. All right, so number 4, what's your number 4 supplement?
I'm big on probiotic, gut health. For me now, whether or not, I don't go out and buy the big raw probiotics where it's got the 50,000, whatever the unit is, load, which are very high quality products. I do buy an over-the-counter store brand that works well for me. It helps with my gut health. It does help with blood pressure issues. Helps you to maintain when you're processing things through your digestion. Your anxiety's lower. You don't feel the bloat. You're not gassy and things like that, which is really important because of the high protein and high fiber loads. I want everything moving through my body. So I use a probiotic every single day. And the thing is, you'll hear some people that they only use these things on days they're not exercising or days they are exercising. I am 7 days a week on my supplements, so I don't miss, and my body is accustomed to it and knows how to not only use it, but to process it.
Interesting number 4, Brian, because that's something I take every day, but it wasn't on my top 5. It wasn't even one of my top 3 bonus, but I take it every day. And you're kind of, as probably my top 5, kind of showing our age,
Yes.
on what we take. So
without question, as you get older, guys like us tend to stay away from the caffeine loaded pre-workout things, and we're going into more of the heart health, the mental health, the gut health, things like that, blood pressure. So yeah.
DIM was one of mine, and nobody else is going to pick that,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope I didn't take your number 5. So
Well, that is number 5. I'm kidding.
Huh?
I'm kidding.
Okay. You can't steal that. Number 5, what is it?
My number 5 is going to be fish oil. I take fish oil. I don't eat as much fish as I want to. I do love fish, but I want to load up on my fish oil. I want the healthy oil in my body. Again, it goes back to heart health. And it's important as you get older, especially if you're training in these gyms. We've learned time and time again, as we've made this our careers, that you can look and appear to be in perfect health and something's going wrong internally. You can't see what disease is building up. So in that preventative side of thing, I'm a big fish oil guy, and I load the fish oil every day as well. I only take 1 capsule. I don't take the big, big doses. I take enough for my body where I feel good about it. And again, that's heart health, gut, digestion, to help keep all of that balanced. And it helps support when I'm dealing with my high loads in the other areas of the other supplements.
Yeah, and your lipid profile, another one that's not on my top 5 or my 3 bonuses. Guess what? I take 24 a day. I take 24 a day, and it's not on my top 5. This is torture.
Well,
So,
you're gonna now you're taking 26, Brian.
yeah, okay. So, yeah, an important one. So you get 3 bonus. What's your number 1?
My number 1 bonus, and it actually, I didn't know about this right away, but vitamin D. I actually do take that as a supplement. I didn't find out because I do my yearly physicals. And as you get older, all you young athletes out there need to consider this as you're getting older. Don't wait. I found through my blood testings, going through lipid panels, things like that, and other tests, that my vitamin D was rather low when I was on a prescription. Well, you want that vitamin D in your body because that's truly what's going to help support the calcium entering in the body, which helps base out your bone structure. And a lot of times when you're having sore knees and elbows and joints, a lot of times we're running to the doctor going, well, what can I do to fix it? Well, every now and again, they find out that you're low on your vitamin D. And in my case, when you start taking the vitamin D into the supplement style of things, a good quality one, all that kind of goes away. And it helps support your overall body. And because the calcium knows how to enter better with, I don't know the science, but I know that it helps enter in with the vitamin D, that it helps maintain that strength of bone. And as you know, as we're lifting and we're getting older, we have got to have the strength of bone.
Boy, okay, now you really got in the ballpark with that one. What does vitamin D do? Everything. Go research.
Yes.
Go research it. Everything from bones to hormones to immune system
Yes.
and everything in between. Go research it. So I got to tell you something that you don't know. First 4 interviews, one was mine. 3 people, their number 1 was vitamin D.
Oh, really?
1 person was that vitamin D was number 2. So the first 4 of these we did, vitamin D was in the top 2 of all 4. Interesting. And it's only been maybe 1 person that it wasn't on the list at all. So it's one of your alternatives / bonus. So I think that's an interesting pattern.
Yeah.
Does that surprise you or no?
Actually, that just tells me that our trainers get it. That's all that says.
But you only halfway get it because it was only a bonus.
Yeah. I'm slow on the uptake.
You're still learning.
Yeah, I am.
That was interesting, but that's how hard this is. Like I said, these trainers are mentioning supplements that I take every day that weren't in my top 8. We're nuts, aren't we? We're just nuts.
That's what we do.
Yep, it's a passion. All right, so your second bonus, what is it?
My second bonus is one that I started during these COVID times, and that's zinc. You kind of got to be cautious from when I looked into zinc and stuff like that, because you don't want to overload zinc, but it helps support the immune system is what I understand, what I believe. And so I take a daily zinc tablet. Now, I don't go to the upper echelon with it. I take what I believe is enough to make sure that I have it in my system to help my immune support. And in working in, I should knock on wood, in working in these facilities throughout this time, there's several of us who have watched our supplemental intake, making sure we're taking our vitamins, our C's, our D's, our zincs and things like that. And we've been able to negotiate or navigate the crisis that was making everybody sick. So living proof that we can get through all this as long as we're maintaining our health and we're taking the proper supplementation.
Great points. It's amazing what you put in your body, how much it makes a difference. And that was my number 4, zinc, with a copper addition to it. So that was my number 4. You know, kind of boring, but for someone who likes to lift weights and try and put muscle on and everything. But again, it's right there with vitamin D. So what's your last bonus, number 3?
My last bonus is a non-stimulant based pre-workout. Now I use a tablet that it's a chew that is made by a company here locally in our town, Carson City. They put this one together. And the reason I like this is when we look at these pre-workouts, I don't really see any value to a pre-workout except for it hypes you up. So if I don't take it, I'm not upset. So I have them available to me. So when I'm feeling like if I'm in my 6th or 7th client, I know I got to work out and I know I want to get a little more energy going. Instead of drinking 12 cups of coffee, I reach for the non-stimulant, which is the caffeine-free version of the pre-workout, and I take that. It's chock full of vitamins. It's like a heavy multivitamin, and that just gives you a little bit of an energy. I take it a good hour before, and I'm ready to go once I hit the floor and do my lift. I'm not a big fan of the stimulant ones, the stimulant-based ones, only because at my age, I don't want 300 milligrams entering my bloodstream of caffeine at any given point in time because I don't want to blow my heart up. Now, I know a lot of the kids love that kind of stuff. You know, we were all using these things back in the day in the early 90s when they came out with, the metabolites and this cut or that cut or the ripped fuels. It was loaded with all the mahuangs and guaranas and all these different things. This is kind of in that theater in my mind, but I use the non-stimulant base just to give me a little bit. Now, the thing with the stimulant base, again, where I get back to I don't see a lot of value in them, is as soon as it's done, and it really hasn't really helped you in your lift. It's just kept you a little more alert in theory. The other thing with those, and make sure you read these labels, here's the lesson learned. A long time ago, when I was still on the old career field with the non-stimulant, I got very, very dizzily with the stimulant one because at the time in my old career path, I was taking a blood pressure medicine, which I no longer have to take. And when those vessels dilate on a pre-workout, I had already had my medicine, so it opened them up even more. So I got real dizzy, real lethargic. So I stay away from all that. Well, the good news is because I have worked out so much and I take all these, I don't even take medicine anymore.
Yeah, that's amazing what you put in your body. And I told Adam that's kind of cheating. You're picking ones that have multiple things in them. But let me take a guess on what might be in that supplement you just mentioned. Maybe beta-alanine, maybe citrulline. So citrulline, beta-alanine, arginine, those, as you know, are going to help with the pump oxygen into the blood. So that's what's in your supplement that you're talking about, right?
Right. And it's just a little chew tab. I don't see any value in taking the big knock yourself out double scoop of crazy workout 1, 2, 3 and being all hyped up, bouncing all over the gym. That's just not my go. It's for other people.
Yeah, again, we're not doctors, but you hit on some points that you can really change your health by what you put in your body, by what you eat, your diet. It takes an effort, but I think people in our society have gotten irresponsible and lazy with their diet. They're irresponsible. They're just eating whatever, and they're lazy because, oh, that's fast and I'm hungry, I'm going to eat that. And it's a mistake because we're both in our 50s. I'm almost 60, one more half a year and I'm 60. And I feel same as I did when I was 22.
Right.
So you can make a difference, and that's just something that's encouraging. So thank you, Brian. Brian Sanchez at Fitness for 10 in Carson City. He's there in the mornings. Go say hi. All our personal trainers are great. They'll take time to just a little time to spend with you, answer your questions, because this is a passion of ours. So thank you, Brian.
Anytime. We'll see you at the next one.